My beloved child, I am closer to you than you realize, not to press upon you with heaviness, but to open your eyes to things ordinary sight cannot perceive. There are matters in your life that carry a very beautiful, reasonable, and desirable appearance. Yet beneath them, they do not contain the peace that comes from me. There are also paths that at first seem rough, inconvenient, and may even require you to let go of what is familiar. But within them is my hand, quietly leading you to a place of safety. Therefore, do not be quick to judge everything by its outward appearance. Do not let brilliance make you forget discernment. And do not let difficulty make you think I am absent. What belongs to me does not always come in the most comfortable form, but it always carries purity, deep peace, and a steadiness the world cannot create. I want you to learn to see with eyes that have been touched by my light. Those eyes do not merely see opportunities, they also recognize the source of those opportunities. Those eyes do not merely look at sweet words, they sense the spirit hidden behind the words. Those eyes do not merely seek what is convenient for you in the present, but know how to ask, does this draw me closer to me? Does this make my heart purer? Does this lead me to live according to what I have planted in my life? My child, true wisdom is not knowing how to choose the easiest thing, but knowing how to choose what is right, even when what is right requires courage. True maturity is not always being agreed with by everyone, but remaining firm in the truth when many voices around you pull you in another direction. There are seasons when I will allow you to face choices that are not clear from the beginning, because it is in those very moments that your discernment is trained. I do not want you to live like someone who only waits for outward signs before believing. I want you to become someone who knows how to recognize my voice amid the noise, who can sense my guidance even when the circumstances have not yet revealed the full answer. You may see an open door, but not every open door is my invitation. You may see a wide path, but not every wide path leads to life. Therefore, keep your heart connected to heaven. Let my peace be the guard within you. And do not ignore the gentle warnings I place in your heart simply because everything on the outside appears favorable. Remember that what is true is not always convenient. Sometimes truth requires you to remain silent before provocation. Sometimes what is right requires you to leave a connection you once wanted to keep. Sometimes obedience leads you into a season of solitude, where no one understands why you have chosen that way. But, my beloved child, do not fear the roads I have marked with my presence. If you stand firm in the light, you will see my hand move in ways you could never arrange. I can make a way where everything seems closed. I can protect you from things you have not yet recognized. I can turn what others use to discourage you into steps that bring you closer to the purpose I have prepared. No opposition is stronger than my faithfulness. No delay can destroy what I have ordained. No darkness is deep enough to hide the light I have reserved for you. You remember the story of Abraham, when I called him to leave the land that was familiar, to leave the safety of his family, to leave the things he could see and control. I did not give him a complete map. I did not explain every turn. I did not reveal in advance every trial waiting ahead. I simply called him to walk, to human understanding. That may have seemed like a difficult decision, even too risky. But to me, it was the beginning of a great covenant. Abraham had to learn that true security was not found in familiar places, but in the one who was leading the way. He had to leave the old in order to enter what I had promised. He had to believe before seeing, and obey before fully understanding. And through that journey, what seemed uncertain became the path of blessing. You are the same. There are times when I will call you to step out of the familiar territory of old thoughts, old habits, old fears, and old limitations. Not to make you lose direction, but to bring you into a wider land of faith. Therefore, when there is a holy stirring within you, a quiet invitation that cannot be ignored. Do not quickly extinguish it with the reasoning of fear. There are things I place within you that do not arrive like a loud thunderclap, but like a small flame that keeps burning steadily in the hidden place. It lets you know that the time has come to change. The time has come to let go. The time has come to step out. The time has come to speak the truth. The time has come to return to the uprightness I have set before you. You may not have enough evidence for others to understand, but if I have spoken within you through peace and pure conviction, then listen. Do not let the need to explain yourself to everyone delay what I am calling you to do. Not everyone will understand your timing, but you were not created to live for the approval of every eye. You were created to walk in my will, as in the days of Noah, when life around him continued with ordinary habits, when people still thought everything would remain as it had always been. I called one man who feared me and listened. What I commanded him did not fit the common thinking of that time. It was not convenient, not easy to explain, and not approved by the majority. But Noah chose to believe me more than the laughter of the crowd. He laid each piece of wood in obedience, even though the sky at that time showed no sign that would make others worry. Do you see? Holy preparation often begins before circumstances confirm it. A person of faith does not wait for the first rain to begin building the ark. A person of faith recognizes my voice and acts when I speak. This is not panic, but watchfulness. This is not fear, but deep trust in the one who sees ahead what you have not yet seen. So, my child, if I am reminding you to pay attention, then pay attention. If I am making your heart unsettled about something, do not take that stirring lightly. If I am drawing you away from an old path, do not cling to it merely because it is familiar. Familiarity does not always mean safety, and newness does not always mean danger. What matters is whether I am in it. When you place that question before every decision, you will gradually learn how to walk in the light. You will no longer be deceived by outward appearances, no longer allow temporary emotions to decide your future, and no longer allow the words of others to drown out my voice gently guiding you. Let me keep your heart soft yet discerning, humble yet not weak, loving yet not blind. I want you to know how to love people while still discerning rightly, to open your heart while still guarding the holy thing I have placed within you. Not every invitation needs to be accepted. Not every relationship needs to be kept. Not every opportunity needs to be pursued. There are things you must refuse in order to protect your peace. There are places you must leave so you do not lose my voice. There are choices you must make quietly, but heaven sees and records your obedience. Then you will see that when you choose to stand firm in what is right, I will not leave you alone. I will send help at the right time. I will open doors no one can shut. I will bring to light things that were once hidden. I will turn your quiet faithfulness into a testimony of grace. And even when you must pass through a road that is not easy, you will still be upheld by my presence. For I am the one who has called you, and I am also the one who preserves you. I am the one who began the good work in you, and I am also the one who will lead you into completion. Walk on, my beloved child, not with haste, not with suspicion, but with watchfulness, peace, and trust. When you see by my light, you will not be deceived by appearances. When you follow my voice, you will not wander away from the path of life. My beloved child, I have seen every season in which you silently struggled. The days when you told yourself you had to be a little stronger, endure a little longer, stand a little firmer, even though inside you were so weary that it felt as if you had nothing left to give. I saw you still praying when your prayer had become nothing more than a sigh. I saw you still trying to hold on to faith when everything around you made you want to give up. I saw the times you lifted others up while you yourself needed to be lifted. The times you smiled to hide your exhaustion. The times you chose what was right, though no one knew the price you had to pay. But today, I gently speak to you and tell you that the season of living only by your own strength has passed. I am not calling you into this new season so you can continue draining yourself. I am calling you into a place where my life moves through you, where you no longer have to create strength on your own, but learn to receive strength from me. What I am doing in you is not adding another layer of effort upon shoulders that have already grown tired. I do not come to tell you to try harder, to strain more, to prove more. I come to teach you to lean on me more deeply, so that what you do no longer comes from the tension of someone afraid to fail, but from the peace of someone who knows they are upheld. You will realize that another source of strength is beginning to flow through your life, not loud, not showy, but steady, like a hidden stream beneath the earth. That flow does not run dry because it does not come from temporary emotion, does not depend on the applause of people, and is not limited by the circumstances before you. It comes from me, the source of life that never runs out, the one who knows how to make dry places bloom and how to cause a weary heart to sing again in hope. Perhaps in the past you became used to measuring your own strength, calculating how much longer you could endure, how much farther you could go, how many more responsibilities you could carry. But in this season, I want you to learn a different rhythm of life. Not the rhythm of pressure, but the rhythm of companionship. Not walking in panic that you will not be enough, but walking in the awareness that I am always enough within you. When you stay close to me, you will not need to understand everything in order to remain steady. The certainty I give you does not come from holding the entire map in your hands, but from knowing whose hand is leading you. There will be days when you do not have enough answers, yet you can still have enough peace. There will be paths where you cannot yet see the way out, yet you can still move forward because I am already going before you into the place you cannot see. Remember Eliah, the one who once stood before great confrontations, who saw my power revealed mightily, yet afterward became so exhausted that he only wanted to stop beneath a tree in the wilderness. I did not come to him with rebuke. I did not tell him to immediately rise and fight as though his exhaustion were something shameful. I allowed him to rest. I fed him. I restored him. And only then did I lead him onward in the journey. Do you see? I do not take lightly the weariness of those I love. I know when you need to be sent, but I also know when you need to be held, nourished, and placed again in holy stillness. And just as I cared for Elijah in the wilderness, I am caring for you in the places where you thought no one could see. I am not only concerned with the work you complete, I am concerned with you, with your heart, with the peace I desire to preserve within you. From that place of restoration, I will place a new breath within you. You will no longer see your mission as a burden to drag along, but as a flow opened from closeness with me. The things that once felt too heavy for you will gradually be seen in a different light, not because every circumstance becomes easy, but because you no longer face them with inner loneliness. I will give you a quiet steadiness, the kind of steadiness that does not need to prove itself with a loud voice, but is recognized in the way you remain still amid change. I will teach you to distinguish between the responsibility I have assigned to you and the burdens you have taken upon yourself because you fear disappointing others. I will help you lay down what does not belong to your portion, so your hands are free enough to hold what I truly give. Yet, my beloved child, the strength I give in this season is not meant to make you proud or to cause you to care only about your own path. What I place within you is for my light to spread, so that many people may look at your life and see that there is a God who is still healing, guiding, and transforming. I will open your eyes to recognize when to speak and when to remain silent. I will give you sensitivity to know which door comes from me, which relationship needs to be nurtured, and what needs to be laid down even if outwardly it appears attractive. This wisdom will protect you from spending yourself on things that do not produce life, while helping you place your energy where I have marked it with holy purpose. At the same time, I will also preserve tenderness within you, for there are people who, when given strength, become hard of heart. There are people who, when lifted up, forget how to bow low. There are people who, when entrusted with influence, lose mercy. But I do not want that to happen to you. I want you to be strong yet gentle, sharp yet kind, authoritative yet humble. Pressure will come, but pressure does not need to turn you into someone dry and barren. Responsibility will grow, but responsibility does not need to harden your heart. When you allow me to live through you, mercy will not be drained, because it will no longer be only your emotion, but my love flowing through your life. Then you will notice that your thinking begins to change. The worries that once took up too much space within you will gradually lose their power. The things that once kept you awake at night will no longer so easily pull you out of peace. You may still face storms, but you will not let the storms enter and rule within you. You will learn to distinguish between outward circumstances and inward steadiness. Your boat may pass through troubled waters, but your mind does not need to be drowned in the storm. I will teach you to look at everything from a higher place, where you do not only see the trial, but also see my hand shaping, protecting, and making a way. The battles that once caused you to fall will no longer have the final word over your life. They will become the place where you come to know me more deeply, where you realize that victory does not always begin with circumstances changing, but with you no longer being controlled by circumstances. You will not become strong in the sense of never feeling pain, never becoming tired, never needing support. True strength is not pretending to be unmoved by everything. True strength is knowing how to run back to me, knowing how to place your fears at my feet, knowing how to say, I am not enough, but you are enough. I do not see everything, but you see, I cannot hold all things together by myself, but you are the one who holds me. Every time you choose trust instead of trembling, the atmosphere around you will change. People may not always recognize it immediately, but in the unseen realm, your obedience creates movements that natural eyes cannot measure. When you remain peaceful in a place where others panic, you testify that I am the true refuge. When you forgive instead of nurturing bitterness, you open a path for healing. When you persist in doing what is right even before seeing results, you are sowing seeds that one day will bloom beyond what you imagined. Your life does not affect only you. Those beside you, those watching you, and even the generations after you can be touched by a heart that dares to let me lead. So, my child, breathe deeply in my presence and do not fear this new season. I am not bringing you into it so you will become more exhausted, but so you will learn to live in a new source of strength. I am not giving you responsibility to weigh you down, but to reveal my power through humble obedience in you. Let me renew every thought, every breath, every motive, every decision. Let me replace tension with peace, striving with reliance, fear with deep trust. You will walk not as someone who must prove themselves worthy, but as a beloved child, loved, upheld, sent, and covered, and in everything you do, I will be the source, the strength, the light, the one who completes what I have begun in you. My beloved child, do not let your steps begin in the shadow of doubt. and do not let the old whispers within your heart pull you back from the place I am calling you to enter. I know there are things that once made you tremble. I know there are memories that, though long past, still leave silent marks upon your thoughts. There were words from others that once made you wonder whether you had enough value. There were failures that once made you think you were not worthy to be entrusted with a great mission. There were times you were left behind, misunderstood, and overlooked, causing you to become accustomed to shrinking back instead of stepping out into the light. But today, I draw near to you not to blame you for those fears, but to gently place my hand upon the places that still hurt, to uproot the seeds that cause you to doubt the very thing I have placed within you. My child, I did not call you because you have never been weak. I called you because I know my grace can make what is weak become strong, what is broken become a testimony of restoration, and what once brought you shame become the place where my light is revealed even more radiantly. You do not need to wait until you become a person who no longer trembles before you are allowed to obey. You do not need to wait until every question in your heart is answered before you can move forward. There are doors that only open when you walk by faith, not when you already hold every piece of evidence in your hands. I do not ask you to bring me a heart that has never been wounded. I simply invite you to give me a heart willing to open, willing to trust, willing to let me heal and lead. Let me enter the hidden rooms of your memory, where you have stored pains that few people know. Let me touch the moments when you were rejected, the days when you felt you were not good enough, the times when you tried your best and still were not recognized. Those things are no longer allowed to define you. They may be part of your journey, but they are not your identity. Your identity is not written by those who left, not decided by shallow judgments, and not limited by the seasons in which you stumbled. You belong to me, and what I speak over you is the final voice. When I call you beloved, no one has the right to make you believe you are forgotten. When I call you chosen, no failure has the right to say you have been rejected. When I call you to step out, no fear has the right to lock your feet in the old place. Perhaps many times you have told yourself that another day would be more suitable, a day when you are stronger, wiser, calmer, more complete. But my beloved child, I am not waiting for a perfectly polished version of you before I begin to use you. I am calling you as you are in this very hour, with the hands you have now, with what you currently possess, with the tears that have taught you compassion, with the wounds that have made you deeper, with the faith that may be small but still turns toward me in difficult days. You think the seed must be large in order to carry life, but I tell you that even what is small, when placed in my hands, can open the way for great things. A trusting heart, even if trembling, is more precious than an appearance of strength that refuses to surrender. Remember Gideon, the one who once hid in fear when I called him to rise up and deliver his people. He did not see within himself the image of a courageous man. He considered himself small, ordinary in background, with nothing outstanding enough to carry a great responsibility, but I did not see him the way he saw himself. I called him by the name of what I had placed within him, not by the fear that covered him. While he was still trembling, I saw the courage that would be awakened. While he was still asking questions, I saw the victory waiting ahead. While he thought he was not enough, I revealed that my presence is what makes strength. You are the same. I do not see you through the limitations you have placed upon yourself. I see you through the purpose I planted in your life before you even knew how to name yourself. Therefore, do not bow your head before doubt as though it were the truth. Doubt may speak loudly, but not every loud voice comes from the light. Fear may offer many reasons for you to stop, but not every reason carries wisdom. There are things that sound like caution, But in truth, they are old pain, trying to keep you safe inside a familiar cage. I am not calling you to blind recklessness. I am calling you to obedience that carries peace, to steps guided by love, to courage that does not depend on your own ability, but on my faithfulness. When you know that I am the one who goes before you, you do not need to know every turn before placing your foot upon the path. Lift your eyes, my beloved child, for the sky I open over your life is wider than every limitation you have ever heard, seen, or believed. The words I have spoken do not disappear because time has passed. The things I have begun are not abandoned halfway. The seeds I have planted in you do not die simply because winter has lasted long. I am still working in the places you cannot see. I am still preparing a way in circumstances you thought had closed. I am still connecting, arranging, preparing, and causing all things to serve my good purpose. You may not yet see the whole picture, but I am holding the map. You may not yet understand why you had to pass through certain roads, but I know where they lead, and the place I am leading you to is not destruction, but wholeness within my holy plan. Do not let doubt steal from you the moment of standing in the exact position I have prepared. There are people who need the light I have placed within you. There are dry places waiting for the water of life to flow through your obedience. There are false words that need to be broken by the truth you will proclaim. There are weary hearts that need to be lifted through the gentle presence I have formed in you through many seasons of testing. You are not being sent to prove that you are great. You are being sent to bring love, healing, encouragement, and hope into places that lack light. Your mission does not begin with confidence in yourself, but with the trust that I am never mistaken when I call your name. Therefore, let me cleanse every layer of fear still clinging to your thoughts. Let me remove from you the words of self-condemnation, the quiet feelings of inferiority, the distorted images that the past once placed upon you. Let me teach you to see yourself through my eyes, not as a flawed person who has been overlooked, but as a beloved child who is loved, upheld, prepared, and sent. When you see yourself through my love, you will no longer need to ask fear for permission to move forward. You will no longer wait for the world's confirmation before daring to obey. You will no longer allow old wounds to decide the width of your future. And when you step out in gentleness, not in pride, in peace, not in haste, in trust, not under the pressure to prove yourself. I do not send you out and then abandon you along the way. I will place the right words in your mouth at the right time. I will give you wisdom when you need discernment. I will open the right door in the right season and close the paths that are not meant for you. What you need is not to know every outcome in advance, but to know that I am with you. As long as you do not lose closeness with me, you will not wander from the path I have already marked for you. So rise, my child, not with noisy strength, but with the deep certainty of one who knows they are called. Do not disqualify yourself from what I have chosen you to do. Do not let old memories speak in place of my voice. Do not let trembling persuade you that you are not enough, while I, myself, have placed within you what is needed for this hour. You were created for this moment, prepared through hidden seasons, trained through days that were difficult to understand, preserved through times when you seemed alone. Now, let my light within you shine forth. Let life move through your words, your actions, and your obedience. Believe that what I have begun, I will bring to completion, and what I have called you to enter, I will also give you grace to fulfill in my peace.